If you would stand, please, for the invocation and pledge of allegiance. Bill, would you do this prayer, please?
Yes, ma'am. Most gracious and loving Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us all together this evening. Thank you for the gorgeous weather we've had today. Thank you that nobody was injured last night in the storms. We ask for your blessings upon this meeting and on the City Council of the City of Bandera. Mostly we thank you for your Son who died upon the cross for our many sins. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Item 3 is the third, which I remembered this week, but there weren't any. So we'll move on to the consent agenda. Item 4. Item A is approve the minutes from the regular meeting on May 23rd, 2019.
I so move.
Who was that? I'm sorry. Lynn Luke makes the motion to Rebecca seconds. All in favor? All in favor, none opposed. Item 5 is discussion of possible action on the following items. Item A, approval of request by the Bandera United Methodist Church to close 11th Street between Cedar and Hackberry for an antique car show on June 16, 2019 from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Yes, Lynn?
I so move.
Lynn moves to approve.
Second.
Rebecca seconds. Any discussion about this? All in favor? All in favor, none opposed. Item B, discussable and possible action on adopting ordinance 360, amending the comprehensive fee schedule adopted as part of the 2018-19 budget. Y'all understand what this is about?
Yeah.
Okay.
I so move.
Lynn makes the ready to approve. Second?
Second.
Tom seconds. Any discussion on this? Yes, Rebecca.
Yes. Hang on, I just clicked the link and I'm getting it different. Sorry, I'm getting to it. Where did we get these fees for the schedule?
You know, Veritas recommended them, and it's based on their fee plus the percentage for the city to cover the cost of code compliance.
How different is this from the fees that we're currently charging for, you know, you've got them broken down by building, electrical.
Quite frankly, Rebecca, it doesn't matter because the state soon is not going to let us do it the other way, period.
Sure, I understand that. I'm just curious as to what the difference is, and how these numbers were generated.
Well, for one thing, in my opinion, if it's a cost-based project, it's very easy for the contractor or the owner of the property to fudge on the cost of the project. You can't fudge on square footage.
Sure.
And so this is what, yes,
And this only affects residential, not commercial also. The fees are a little bit higher on the standard, like the plumbing and the
Yeah.
breakdowns.
I'm just curious about that.
But with it being the square footage, it was really making it a lot harder to track that way. So the city administrator, code enforcement, Bureau Veritas all had a meeting together, and as well as contacted other cities in our area. At least 5 cities, I think, were contacted to see what they were doing, because this was a House bill that came down and it said make the change now, there's no waiting. So after talking to other cities and them having a meeting, that's how the fees came up.
So how does the 60 cent per square foot compare to other cities? Does anybody have that breakdown with us to compare?
Very comparable.
Because I couldn't find any. I looked at like 3 or 4 different cities and I couldn't find.
You can go in, and some of them are still actually updating their fee
Right.
schedule too, but you can go on. Irving is one of the cities that has everything already done and posted.
Mm-hmm.
Different rates, if you look at them, for different square footages, changes as it goes. The higher the square footage, the less the cost per square foot. But it's very, very comparable to a lot of the other cities that we looked at.
Okay, and we're just doing a straight 60 cent per square foot.
Based off of the first 1,500 square feet, I believe, 1,501 up to 5,000.
I didn't see that. Is that? I don't see that here.
It's the attachment on the ordinance.
Right, I'm looking at the Exhibit A.
Excuse me, I didn't prepare this, so I'm not sure. Let's see. And I don't have my
Yeah, I think here, if you do the ordinance 360 packet, I mean, here's ordinance 360, and then you go to the
Okay,
ordinance
packet.
360 packet, and it's got,
On that exhibit.
yeah,
Okay.
it has it there, and then it also has a letter from Keeley.
Where do you see the first 1,500 square feet?
Well, that's off the form that we went, it's not actually on this
Oh.
one here, not the one that I have anyway. The application fee is $50.
Okay, but back to this, for the first 1,500 square foot. So the fee schedule in the form is different than the fee schedule we're adopting?
If you'll go online to the calculator that we have, so we can figure the fee schedule, it will tell you 1,500 square feet and below is always the same price.
Is that the 60 cent? I mean, because
Right.
we're setting a price per square foot right
Yes.
now.
Mhm.
So are you saying that, above 1,500 is a lower rate?
No, 1,500 and up is 60 cents a square foot.
Okay,
Now, if you go by your calculator and you change that, you'll see that the numbers will differ a little bit. What's it on the?
It's the same if it's 1,500 square foot house or less. If it's over 1,500 square foot, it goes up. So if your house is 800 square foot and you're making a change, it's gonna be 60 cents a square foot.
okay. So we're not.
Based on the Bureau Veritas calculator.
Okay, so, again,
With the measurement.
then if we're adopting a different price, then wouldn't it need to be in here? On the, above 1,500 square feet?
That is the rate, is 60 cents per square foot.
But there's a different rate if it's over 15.
If I've got a 1,600 square foot house, what's the rate?
I don't know off the top of my head what the number would be, but it's gonna be 60 cents per square foot plus your base. Which I don't have that number here on this sheet.
900.
I can't explain it to you, I apologize, I wasn't in any of the meetings. I just kinda got briefed on it right before this meeting, but by Keely, so. I wasn't in the meeting with Bureau or any of those people, so.
Well, if this is what we're adopting, but what's on the website is something different, I think that's significant. Am I missing something? Because it's not always 60 cents per square foot, but all we're looking at is 60 cents per square foot.
On all
So,
residential, it will be 60 cents.
there's not a separate rate for a
Not on the
different square
residential, no
footage?
ma'am.
Okay,
Now, when, there is a little bit of difference on construction, and there are other changes on the trade permits, different things like that. Those prices did go up.
and those prices went up based on what?
On Bureau Veritas, when they changed their rate schedule. The way it was before, everything was off of valuation.
Mm-hmm.
So if you had a home evaluated at $100,000,
Right, I do understand that, and I understand why the
Right.
need for the change.
Mhm.
But, I mean, if I have to spend $200 repairing my porch, but I need a $192 permit to do that, that might make my project out of my financial.
I mean, it very well
That's-
could, but
that
if we didn't
seems-
raise ours, then we would be losing money when we
Well,
have to
I
have.
certainly wouldn't
Bureau.
suggest that.
But would you need a skilled craft to repair a porch? We're talking about electricians, plumbers, and
Mhm.
HVAC. The skilled,
Would I need a
no, I'm saying, if you've got a $200 repair on your porch, that's probably not gonna include an electrician, air conditioning, plumbing.
I'm just reading right off of here, repair, replace a porch, I gotta pay $192 for a permit.
That's for a, look at it again.
If you have a light on your porch, you wouldn't need electric.
If you add a roof to a carport or porch or anything that someone could be walking underneath, you'll have to have someone there to survey it, or not survey it, to inspect it
Mm-hmm.
because of the safety for people in there.
What is Bureau Veritas's rate?
160 something,
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure.
right. We were, but we changed ours from 40% to 20% because of how much
Because
this
of
was.
their increase?
Yes, ma'am.
Leah,
And it says that we have to come in compliance with House Bill number
I'm not
852.
questioning that at all.
Yeah, that's the reason we had to do
That's the
all
reason
of
we have
this.
to do it.
Yes, as stated.
Any further discussion? All right, we've got a motion by Lynn, a second by Tom, all in favor? Bryce, Rebecca, Lynn, and Tom are in favor, opposed? Councilman Clark is opposed. Motion passes. Okay, as soon as I find my agenda, we'll move on. Okay, item C, discussion of possible action on ordinance 361, amending chapter 1, general provisions, article 1.03, city council.
Motion to move.
Lynn makes the motion to approve. Do I have a second?
A second.
Tom seconds. Discussion?
I think that we've all had plenty of time to look at this and have any questions to anybody that we might have a question for. I've discussed it with the mayor, with the secretary, and with other people here in City Hall, and I think we just need to take a vote on it.
Lynn?
Again, I'm opposed to 5:30 meetings, since that's part of this, I will be voting against this also.
Well, I think we may take this up again after the election, but I think all council now is content with the 5:30 meeting, but you can vote opposed if you'd like.
Well, if you wait till after the election, then the people that are eliminated or have eliminated themselves because they work in San Antonio and they can't get here, they don't want to run for office.
Any further discussion on this ordinance? All in favor?
Well,
Yes.
sorry,
Go ahead,
just
Rebecca.
one thing, I have, in my 2 elections, we have come together and set the time for the meetings. And it has adjusted more than once since I've been on council, so I think that's likely that could potentially happen again.
It can, as with you, I've been on and off, our meetings have gone from Mondays to Thursdays to 6:30 to 7 to 5:30. It can change, you know, up to council. Tom was first.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Tom?
As far as what we have here, that reflects current schedule, so I'm
Correct.
fine with that. But Glenn or anybody has the option between now and November or at any point to put it on the agenda and discuss the meeting.
Absolutely.
I agree. That's kind of what I was gonna say. At any time, it could be changed if you wanted to put it on the agenda. That shouldn't stop you from voting on the whole ordinance, but that's my opinion.
Thank you. Glenn, you have anything else to say?
Yeah, well, this council is the one that set the 5:30, and I had my objections when we did that. And I don't see any change coming from this council.
Okay, thank you. Let's vote. All in favor? Tom, Rebecca, Lynn, Bryce in favor, opposed? Lynn is opposed, motion passes. Item D. Discussion of possible action on ordinance 362, amending chapter 3, building regulations, article 3.09, signs.
I make a motion to move.
Lynn makes a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Rebecca seconds. Discussion? Rebecca?
I could have missed this, and I apologize if I did from the workshop, but, the decorative vintage signs that's an additional definition, and, was that discussed in terms of adding that in to
Yes.
allow? Okay.
Yes.
In residential
Mhm.
areas only.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Glenn?
Okay, again, I still have an issue with the way the yard sale signs are addressed in this, and I've discussed this in several meetings. Years ago, when I was in an earlier term on council, I got together a committee and we discussed this, and we came up with ways. And I heard the code enforcement officer at the last meeting, talk about all the messy signs around town. Well, we addressed that, and still, when the attorney said, well, you're gonna have an issue if businesses want to, say, well, if they can advertise it, we can advertise it. I think that's a crop myself. I don't think that would hold up. But, so again, I'm not gonna vote for this.
Any other comments on the sign ordinance?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am. At the workshop, you guys did change the height, the sign
Yes.
height back down. And, lighting is addressed in the outdoor ordinance, and there's nothing contrary here with the lighted signs we've already, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. I just wonder how many of the other council members actually go out and talk to people about these things. And all the changes we're making, they're fine with it.
The people that I've spoke to, Glenn, and then we've had it on the agenda for the last 6 months. So if anybody had any concerns, then they should have come to the council to address them. That's just my opinion.
Yeah. Well, like I said, how many times have I brought up this deal about, not just this, but on other matters, bed and breakfast, just different things, you know. And we just keep rolling on down the road, and, you know, the will of the people, you know, whether they come to meetings or not, you know, that's what we're here to represent.
And that's correct, and just a second. And the will of the people, as I said in my letter this last month, you know, if we're here as your representatives, and if you don't like what we're doing, vote in somebody else or run yourself for these offices. But I encourage everybody all the time to come to the meetings. Come to the meetings. And yet we have very,
Maybe if they were at 6:30, they might be able to show up.
well, perhaps.
Mayor, I shop a lot of the businesses in town, Glenn, on the weekends and during the week. So I do speak to the merchants, the business owners, and I have not had anybody in the last 2 or 3 months address anything about a sign ordinance. And I have said to them, do you know that we have a new sign ordinance becoming in effect? You know, you might want to go online and look at it and see how it affects you. So I have addressed business owners, which is who this sign ordinance affects, and I haven't had any complaints, and none of them have shown.
Well, I've addressed issues with the business people as well as the citizens around town, so.
Well, the only ones that have had any complaint was on the feather signs, the sale signs. There was a controversy over, they thought that they should be grandfathered in, and I think that's already been discussed. That was the only complaint or issue that was brought up.
Anything else on signs? Okay. I've got a motion by Lynn and a second by Rebecca. All in favor? Bryce, Rebecca, Lynn, and Tom are in favor. All opposed? Lynn is opposed. Motion passes. Item E, discussion of the rate study by Nugent Strategies. All right, Jay.
We'll need some of y'all to come by, call or something so we can discuss this. I want to make sure that everybody is on the same page. If there's any questions, I mean, now is the time we need to address them. Next meeting, we will have Matthew Garrett, the gentleman that wrote this up for us. I don't know if his assistant will be on a conference call with us, so we can discuss it with them at the time. And if y'all want to move forward with it at that time or changes of any kind, then that's when we will need to make the final decision for that.
Oh, so you wanna change it during this budget year? I thought we were gonna not approach it until next budget year.
Well, no, we will, if council says we wanna do with section A or scenario A, B, C, then we will have that in place. They will finalize everything. Then come budget time, we can adopt it at that time
Okay.
if that's what council would like to do.
Yes, Lynn.
I think this is really important for the city council to review. I know that for years, way before I came on council and when I was on council previously, we have talked about the wastewater plant that we have and how it's going to need to be relocated and possibly a new one made. And all of this will help us achieve that goal for the future of the Bandera. So I really hope that everybody reviews this and takes it seriously.
Yes, Tom.
I just wanted to ask Jay if you could give us a little background. It sounds like we need to generate a whole bunch of new revenue. What's the background?
Well, the main thing we'll be looking for is, like Lynn said, the wastewater plant. It's currently, I don't know the age of it, but it's probably older than all of us put together. TCQ will not let us do many upgrades at all because of the location that it's in, because it's in a floodway right on the river. So that will have to be moved. And to move that, you may have to look at additional pump stations, piping, different things like that. It won't be cheap, but this will put us ahead of the game, you know, whatever council decides, if they decide to adopt, to get us in the right direction. That way it's not just a huge shock, you know, and we don't want to shove it down the citizen's throat all at one time and say, look, we gotta build a new wastewater plant for $10 million, for example. How are you gonna pay for it? We're gonna raise your rates, you know, 200%. We don't wanna do that. We wanna try to get ahead of it and get it accomplished that way.
If we get ahead of it now too, we were talking with Ben Rosenberg and our engineers that a few years down the road, we might approach the Texas Water Development Board again for another low interest loan, because they also have the clean water revolving fund, which is for your sewer plants. Yes, Lynn?
Would we qualify for any grants or any help from the state at all?
We've got people looking at that right now, but the clean water side, there's not a lot out there. Just like streets, there's not a lot out there. It's the drinking water side that everybody's.
Could we approach the EDC? Would that be something that we could approach the EDC about?
For what?
To make an economic improvement? That would be a huge economic improvement to the city,
First
a
off,
new
they don't have
wastewater plant.
They don't have enough money to even pay for the engineering
Oh.
on a new wastewater plant.
Oh.
Or to do acquisition of new property for a wastewater plant. I mean, they're in a position now, you know, where they have limited funds as well.
Okay.
These things are included in any grants that we might get or any future Texas Water Development Board projects that we might apply for. Because, I mean, the engineering alone on something like this would be hundreds of thousands of dollars. An acquisition might be, who knows what, you know, so we're looking at a lot of money. And we're figuring 7 to 10 million when the time comes. And these water rate hikes, whatever the council may decide, it's not gonna raise $10 million. Don't even think that. It'll help us maintain our, and, well, you know, we maintain our antiquated system for now and keep it rolling and, you know, help us along a little bit, so. Anybody else? No discussion? Okay, please, shoot, excuse me, shoot Jay an email if you have time, make an appointment, come and see him, and if you have any questions about this at all. Anything else, Jay?
No, ma'am.
Okay, item F, discuss the possible action on resolution 2019-018 approving the appointment of a certain individual to serve as the director of the Bandera Economic Development Corporation. Okay, I believe.
I'd like to make a motion that we appoint Vicki Brown to the EDC.
Mr. Hayes, a motion to appoint Vicki Browning. Do I have a second? For a second. Any discussion? All in favor? All in favor of Lynn and Bryce, opposed? Opposed of Lynn, Tom, and Rebecca, motion fails. Do I have a motion?
Rhonda, I make a motion to appoint Rhonda. Rhonda.
Okay, Lynn makes a motion to nominate Rhonda. Do I have a second? Bryce seconds. Discussion? All in favor? Lynn, Tom, Lynn, Bryce are in favor, opposed? Rebecca's opposed, motion passes. Okay, discussion and possible action on the city logo contest. Yes, Lynn.
I'd like to make a motion that the city council approve number 19 on the city logos. What I would like to, sorry.
Number 19, this number 19?
Yes, ma'am, that number 19.
Okay. We have motion to approve. Motion to approve. Press, approve, whatever. Number 19, folks, I'd really like to get this thing moving and over with. Do I have a second on number 19? Do do I have a second on number 19?
I'll second it for discussion.
Tom will second. Thank you.
So I like this logo for the city of Bandera because it's clean, it's clear, it's easy to read. It says the city of Bandera, the year that the city of not the city of Bandera was established, but Bandera was established. And to me, it captures the essence of the cowboy. And without having to say cowboy capital of the world. But that's just my opinion, and I think that that would look well on our city t-shirts, on a city logo. It's updated, and it just shows the essence of the cowboy, and to me.
Is this not one that we're getting a different horse on? Or is this one the way it is?
That was discussed at the last meeting for y'all to go back and make your own decision on and come back with your own opinions.
I thought they had a hard time with the embroidery in that one.
Huh?
Do you remember them talking about having a problem with the embroidery in that, the detail?
Just because of the way it's shadowed, you mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, if we can discuss, can we just, 15 would be an option for me as well.
Well, we have a motion for 19, so we
Okay.
need to address that one.
Sure.
Rebecca.
In my opinion, we should hire a professional to rebrand Bandera. I think this is a very serious, image that is gonna be projected in advertising, not just in shirts, on shirts, not just on employee shirts, but,
You wanna hire a marketing strategist?
I think it would be worth consulting a professional to have a professional image.
How many thousands of dollars and where are we gonna find that?
I don't know that thousands of dollars would be, a price tag on a logo, but it's just, again, my opinion, and, I just think that, for a logo, maybe something professionally done would be in the city's, better interest.
I think some of these are professionally done. They're not, I think some of these people do have backgrounds in advertising and making and doing logos for a living.
Well, I think I could make that on Microsoft Word.
No, we're not all gonna agree.
Sure.
I think we have a motion and a second on 19, let's go ahead and move forward with that. Any changes you wanna make to 19, perhaps the horse off of number 2, or you'll leave that horse? And, yes, Tom,
I could only support 19 with a different horse.
it's a different horse, I agree, I
I
think the
like
horse,
15 better.
Mhm.
the horse from number 2, which we looked at last week. was
I'll agree
2
with that.
Horse from 2, okay. All right, let's go ahead and vote on this and get this moving on down the road. So, all in favor of number 19 for city logo with the change of the horse to proof number 2 from
Let me look at horse.
submission number 8.
Point of order,
Yes, sir.
I don't think the motion was made with the different horse.
Lee, would you like to amend your motion?
Well, just a moment, let me just look at the horse on number 2. So can we discuss a little bit more, or is this the number 2 you're referring to, Tom? Right.
We should see it before we vote on it.
Here's the horse on number 2.
Yeah, I think I'd like to keep my motion the way that it is.
Okay. All in favor? All in favor? Van? Bryce, you seconded, can I vote for it?
We were discussing changing the horse, right?
Okay, all
So,
right.
I mean, what horse would you like to
What,
change
we're
to?
voting, okay, all in favor would be Lynn? Okay, opposed? Glenn, Tom, Rebecca, and Bryce are opposed, motion fails. Now, do I have a new motion?
I'll I'll make a motion that we approve number 15.
Number 15.
Or, well, number 16, I guess. I'm gonna say 16 because it does have the date.
All right, guys, look,
Okay, I'm
I
sorry.
need a second. Do I have a second? There's no second.
I'll make a motion. Can I make the motion
Yes.
clear? I'd like to make a motion to approve number 16.
Number 16. Number 16. Okay. Do I have a second? A second. And Tom second. Now, if y'all don't want to change the logo, we can let this thing die right here and now. But we can't keep dragging this thing out. Either we need to get a logo or we need to stay with the one that we have, which I don't like at all. So,
That's
The one we have.
No.
or that one, yeah.
That's
But
the
that's our
one.
flag, I apologize, that's our flag. Okay, so, discussion on number 16. Okay. All in favor of number 16? Lynn and Tom. Opposed? Bryce, Rebecca, and Glenn?
I don't care about on this one.
You're gonna abstain? Lynn abstains, therefore there's a tie. And I get to vote. And I don't like this one either. I have to vote against, I don't like that one. And I know I'm the one that said, let's get this over with, but I just really don't like that one. So, council, we can't come to an agreement.
I guess it stays.
So I'm gonna, yes,
It stays the same.
that's about all we can do right now, I don't see any point. We can look at it again down the line. So with council's agreement, we'll move on to the next item. Item H. Are these folks here?
No, I don't think so. I don't know who they are, but I know everybody here, so.
Okay, item H is discussion of possible action on the Great Barbecue Company's request for concession agreement. They called, they questioned both Jill and the administrator and have not returned a call or come back, so we'll just let this one go. Yes, sir.
Was this for concession at the park?
Yes, sir. So we'll just let that one slide. Item I, approve moving the meeting on Thursday, July 25th, 2019 to Wednesday, July 24th, 2019, and the reason for that being,
The,
Meeting with
Yes.
the Navarro.
the Navarro conference.
oh, okay. Anybody have a problem with July the 24th, and could I have a motion?
No, sorry, I'll make a motion to approve the change in
Rebecca
meeting
makes a
date.
motion to approve. Lynn seconds. Discussion? All in favor? All in favor, none opposed. Thank you very much. Item 6, request and announcements. A is request by council to place items on the future agenda. Yes, Lynn?
I would like for us, for the city council to consider maybe, because I understand that other cities have this ordinance on having some kind of control or authority over buildings and development that are happening in the city of Bandera, that we could possibly have an ordinance that sets a timeline for when a development or building is to be completed. I know that there are cities that are able to have more teeth in what's happening in their city.
Well, we already have that, Lynn. After 180 days of the stop of construction, their permits expire, they have to come and get new permits to start over again. So what more do you want?
All right. Okay.
I think, if I could speak,
Certainly,
is, if a contractor comes in and is gonna put in a building, a business, whatever, and they do not meet that deadline, then we can go back and actually charge them back a certain amount per day, per week, however that is written up in a contract, to hopefully to expedite people to come in and do the work, get it finished on time without any issues, not drag it out.
Oh, we'll discuss it if council takes
That's
it.
what I was wanting to discuss.
I
in the
really don't
future.
think that's enforceable in a court. I mean, you've got rain delays, you've got.
Well, I mean, that's all included.
It's all
in
included in the
yeah.
contract. That would be all included,
Like-
rain, weather days and things like
Yeah,
that.
like for the hotel, I'm not picking on the hotel, but let's say they had 6 months to finish completion with 20 rain delay days or bad weather days, and for whatever reason they went past that, then they would be charged X number of dollars per day until completion was done.
Okay, well, we'll look at that self-complaint. Anybody else?
I appreciate it.
Lynn, you had a comment?
I just made one of myself. Sounded like this was discussed prior to this meeting, but I would like to see us address some important issues, more important things, city logos and all this stuff. You know, I brought up the deal about the bed and breakfast situation. You know, the attorney was here, we talked about it, so it's just going away.
No. As you know, Keely's working on a list of our current bed and breakfasts, and he's working on something to use the term short, the language of short-term rental rather than a bed and breakfast. Remember, that's only been 2 weeks, so we are working on that too.
Okay. Well, in future on agenda items, and I'll go way back on this, when we discussed holidays for the employees, we had no rate on how to, you know, figure out what it was, the entire cost was, you know. And I know years ago this was asked for, and it was asked for again, when the last council was here, you know. We need some kind of, you know, average wage that we can look at this and, you know, because it's not provided for us when we make these decisions.
I believe that by following the county's guidelines, as we've done in the past when we were on
No,
council,
we haven't.
we didn't do that this year. And quite frankly, I'll apologize, I wasn't feeling good that time of year, and I didn't even pay attention to that when it came up on the agenda. And like you, I too was appalled that the 16 paid holidays, the day before New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. I mean, this is getting ridiculous, and I agree, we need to figure out something, Glenn.
Well, I just want some kind of, you know, tool to use to make my determination.
Okay.
Cost. Cost.
Exactly.
Do you wanna go by other cities,
No,
examples?
I
or-
wanna know what our cost is.
We want to know the cost per holiday, is that?
Yeah, if I'm gonna give somebody, or the whole, city crew a day off, how much does that cost?
All right. You can do that. Okay.
It's gonna be huge when you figure in the, you know, the health insurance, all the benefits and stuff.
Anything else, Council? Jay?
The park, last month, $21,100 is what it done. Actually had 2 0 days because of weather, one very slow day. 212 residents with passes also was there for the month. So it's starting to move up a little more.
Good. Well, I'm glad that the residents are taking advantage of their park passes. I think that's a good thing for them. And I'm glad to see them using it. Anything else? Jill? Nothing? Yes.
I just want to announce this skate park competition. It is in Kerrville. That's Swinging Winds, but the person that is putting on this skate park competition does bring his kids to the Bandera skate park as well, and they go to the Bernie skate park, and it's something that he's trying to get going in Kerrville, and possibly maybe even have a small competition here in Bandera as well someday. So I was just wanting to announce that.
Thank you. Can we
Thank
put it
you.
up here at the front?
Sure.
Awesome, thank you. Yes, Glenn?
Yeah, this is the weekend for the Bandera all-class reunions also.
Anything else? Okay, that covered announcements. Any other announcements? All right, do I have a motion to adjourn? Lynn makes a motion to adjourn. Garth second. Discussion. All in favor? All in favor, not opposed. 6:10, I'm just speaking to you.
You can email me.
Thank you.
I knew you wanted to talk to you last meeting.
Welcome aboard.